Hello, movie lovers and movie maniacs. Drama Queen here, bringing you your next movie review with my co-host for this episode,
Drama Queen Big Brother.
Today we'll be reviewing the live-action version of Aladdin. And let me tell you, this movie had high-flying action, magic, comedy, and heart. And it was absolutely the most incredible thing ever. And I really did enjoy it. And we had, all the characters you know and love. It was pretty much the same story we all know. But they added one new scene and one new song. And let me tell you, the new song that Princess Jasmine sings is absolutely beautiful. And for the most part, Princess Jasmine's character stayed the same. She was still that headstrong princess who didn't feel like she needed a man to, be happy, And she still did the whole thing where she disguises herself and goes into the village and all that stuff. But the only one difference that I did notice in Jasmine in this version is she wants to be just Sultan by herself. That's another reason why she didn't want a man. So which I kind of like that too, because it even adds even more of that headstrong princess that we know and love from the original. And then Aladdin is still that diamond in the rough street rat who loves to hang out, have fun, and stand up for what's right. And Abu is still in there. And then so what did you think of the song One Jump Ahead?
It reminded me a lot of some of the other power ballads you get in movies like Frozen. It sounded a lot like Let It Go to me.
Okay, how did you get Let It Go from that?
Well, I mean, if you listen to the two songs, they sound very similar.
Well, maybe, but it was still a very good song. I love how they added a little bit more to it, but it was still the same amazing song from the first original movie. And then Jafar, let me tell you one thing. Jafar is still that, power-hungry, maniac from the first movie with his hypnotizing, cobra staff and everything. So he was still just as dangerous and crafty as ever. But one thing I didn't really like was that they changed Iago's voice, and he wasn't that, sane, high-tempered parrot from the first movie. So Guilford Godfrey was another actor that was missed in this movie. And we'll get to the other actor that was missed in a little while. And the Sultan, they did change a little bit for the Sultan, Jasmine's father. He wasn't the same, childish, fun-loving Sultan that you see in the animated version, which I kind of did miss that a little bit. And then we have where Jafar, instead of being in a disguise and tricking Aladdin into going into the Cave of Wonders, he's dressed as Jafar, no disguise, no anything whatsoever. And Aladdin goes into the Cave of Wonders, and of course, Jafar tricks him and doesn't keep his word. And then that's where the genie enters the picture. And the genie was played by Will Smith, a fellow comedic actor. And he did an incredible job upholding Robin Williams' legacy while adding his own little twist to the character to make it his own. A Friend Like Me was absolutely incredible, always the showstopper in my opinion. And it was absolutely incredible, and he added a little bit of beatboxing and his own little twist to it, which I think was amazing, and added its own little fresh little beat to it, which I really enjoyed. And then it stayed pretty much the same. The plot to the movie stayed pretty much the same. You know, down all the way down to, you know, and here's some spoilers if you haven't seen the animated version or the live action version. Jafar still gets turned into a genie at the end and pulls the parrot down with him. What do you think of, you know, how, you know, Aladdin was able to trick Jafar into turning himself into a genie?
That is Aladdin's great characteristic, is the ability to think quickly on his feet and trick people. But of course, in the tradition of tragic flaw, it's also the thing that causes problems for him when he also lies to Jasmine. So the thing that helps him ends up being the thing that hurts him.
Well, yeah, in that sort of way, because the genie told Aladdin, you know, yes, the Prince Ali got you in the door, but it has to be Aladdin who opens it, which is actually a quote from the movie, which I actually really thought was a really good quote. And you still have that, you know, scene where Jafar has Aladdin killed, you know, or tries to have Aladdin killed by throwing him in the water. And that situation was actually really well executed, if you ask me.
There was definitely more suspense than in the animated version.
Yeah, definitely, because in the animated version, if you remember, he basically just put a bag over Aladdin's head and, you know, threw him into the water. Where in this version, they actually had like a brief conversation and said, if you really are Prince Ali, then you'll die, and if you are who you say you are. But if you are that same street rat, Aladdin, and the genie saves you, then I know you have what I seek. I mean, they really did add a little bit more layers to Jafar.
Yes.
And all the characters, and it had even new characters as well as Dahlia, who played Jasmine's handmaiden, and she was hilarious. She had to be one of my new favorite characters. I thought she was hilarious. What do you think?
Yeah, it was interesting because she also played a love interest for the genie, so that it fleshed out the genie's character as well.
I think so too, because, you know, in the original, you know, animated version, I mean, yeah, he was wished free, but he didn't have a love interest. He still stayed pretty much a genie, but he could make his own wishes on his own, no, you know, anything like that.
Yes.
So to add a love interest for him, you know, that's incredible. And then in the beginning of the movie, you see the genie with Dahlia, and they have 2 kids and everything. I mean, so I do kind of agree with that decision, really fleshing out the genie's character. And I think that Robin Williams would be, hopefully be very proud of it, and he will be really missed in this movie. He really was. And what else did you think of? You know, if I can get my thoughts together, the new hypnotizing staff.
Yeah, I thought that prop looked a little cheap, honestly.
Well, I mean, I thought it was, like, you know, pretty and everything, but, you know, the whole, I don't know how I can say it, but, you know, I don't know what I'm saying, but, I don't know, the staff seemed good, but, I don't know, but the whole thing where Aladdin figures out that the staff is the thing that's hypnotizing people, and he smashes it. In the original, Jafar almost gets dragged away, but he poofs away, like uses a potion to poof away. But in the original, they end up actually being able to get him into the dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so.
Well, in the live action, they get him.
Yeah, in the live action version, they actually end up getting him in the dungeon, except, you know, and all that stuff.
Right.
But this movie added a lot of new things. It fleshed out the characters, along with new perspectives, new ideas. I mean, it was absolutely incredible. And let's talk about the costumes. What did you think of the costumes?
Um, well, they were a lot more elaborate than in the animated version, especially when Aladdin gets turned into Prince Ali. I was really impressed at how the costume designers were clearly taking it as an opportunity to flaunt their stuff, go all out, and have some fun. That was some really incredible costumes. Also, the traditional Jasmine costume with the blue and the veil was in there, and it did definitely look like the animated version, but it had some updates,
which I liked, because in the animated version she didn't have a veil.
Right, and she also had an exposed midriff in the animated version. They did not do that here. Neither do you see Aladdin's bare chest,
which I kind of missed.
Whoa, TMI.
Very funny. Okay, and I really enjoyed, the whole new world. I mean, that was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And just everything about it, from the music to the characters to just the whole new perspectives in the movie. And let's talk real quick about that new scene, and then we'll close out the video. The new scene in the movie takes place right after the song Prince Ali, and that was awkward a little bit. So what do you think about it? Like,
Well, basically, in summary, the scene is that Prince Ali shows up and speaks to the Sultan and Jasmine and makes a fool of himself. And Will Smith, as the genie, is trying to give Aladdin some advice.
And trying to help him.
Trying to help him, yeah, but it doesn't end up going very well. So they added some awkward tension. This is good because it sets up a whole progression that Aladdin can go through, where at first Jasmine is not at all interested in him, and then she becomes more and more interested in him, which is a more interesting development than just if she were smitten with him from the beginning.
Yeah, and then they actually, now that I think about it, they did add one more scene, the dance scene.
Oh, phenomenal scene. Great,
that
great
was
choreography.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That was absolutely beautiful, just amazing. But if you want to see more and everything, then stop this video and go and enjoy this movie. It was absolutely incredible, and I give it about 10 magical genie lamps up. See you guys next time for my next review. Bye!
Bye.